On abortion rights in Texas, sir, what would be your message to women in Texas, and what can your administration do to protect abortion rights on a federal level?
I'm late for going down. I'm going to talk about these things from Louisiana, but I have been, continue to be, a strong supporter of Roe v. Wade. Number one. And the most pernicious thing about the Texas law, it sort of creates a vigilante system where people get rewards to go out to, anyway. And it just seems, I know this sounds ridiculous, almost un-American, what we're talking about. Not to debate about, I respect people who think that, who don't support Roe v. Wade. I respect their views. I respect them, those who believe life begins at the moment of conception and all. I respect that. Don't agree, but I respect that. I'm not going to impose that on people. But what I was told, and I must tell you, I am not certain. I was told that there are possibilities within the existing law to have the Justice Department look and see whether there are things that can be done that can limit the independent action of individuals in enforcing a federal system, a state law. I don't know enough to give you an answer yet. I've asked that to be checked. Thank you all very much.
Folks, so the hits just keep on coming. First, we talked about WeSpa. I don't know which order these are going to come out, so it might be before or after this. But on top of that, we have other issues. Most notably, that Texas is trying to just get rid of abortion with an incredibly horrific law. One that, in my opinion, basically starts getting into the place of human rights abuses.
No, absolutely. Super there.
So let's explore this article, because I got a lot to say. Biden slams SCOTUS refusal to block Texas abortion law, vows to pursue legal remedies. Let's fucking hope he actually does. Speaker Nancy Pelosi says she's bringing legislation to codify Roe to a vote. Well, good luck, Nancy. I don't believe you, but good luck. Let's get into this.
President Joe Biden said Thursday he is launching a whole-of-government effort in response to the Supreme Court allowing the nation's most restrictive abortion law to take effect in Texas, directing his Gender Policy Council and the White House legal team to tap federal agencies to ensure women maintain their constitutional right to an abortion.
So, here's the thing. If you're having issues with the stream, refresh the video. So again, we have Biden going off, wanting to do a whole government effort. Nancy says she's going to do some stuff, but Nancy says she's going to do a lot of damn shit. Here's the situation, and how stupid it is.
The new law in Texas has raised concerns among Democrats and abortion rights advocates that there will be efforts in other states to imitate it.
True.
The Supreme Court ruling provides a fresh incentive to act on abortion on a federal level while reigniting the national political divide over abortion, the 1973 Roe v. Wade decision legalizing it, and the High Court itself.
While the Chief Justice was clear to stress that the actions by the Supreme Court is not a final ruling on the future of Roe, the impact of last night's decision will be immediate and require an immediate response, Biden said in a statement. Biden said,
"Hence, I am directing that Council and the Office of the White House Counsel to launch a whole-of-government effort to respond to this decision, looking specifically to the Department of Health and Human Services and the Department of Justice to see what steps the federal government can take to ensure that women in Texas have access to safe and legal abortions as protected by Roe, and what legal tools we have to insulate women and providers from the impact of Texas' bizarre scheme of outsourced enforcement to private parties," the statement said.
So let's get into this. So Texas passed a law basically making it so that if you try getting an abortion after 6 weeks, instead of them coming after you, which would be a violation of Roe versus Wade, it allows other people to turn you in, thus them doing the work. My understanding of this is a way to get around the law. This is the way to get around some of the languaging there. Again, Supreme Court refuses to block Texas abortion law on technical grounds. They'll probably bring it up here.
The Supreme Court in a 5-4 vote Wednesday night formally rejected a request from Texas abortion providers to block the state's severe law restricting the procedure while legal challenges continue. Most abortions in Texas are now illegal after 6 weeks of pregnancy, and private citizens who do not have to be Texas residents are encouraged to sue a person they believe is providing an abortion outside the new parameters or assisting a woman in getting one, such as a rape counselor or an Uber driver taking a woman to a clinic.
So I want you to think about that. You can get some sort of either, I'm not quite clear if that's a legal or a civil, like a criminal or a civil charge, but you can essentially sue someone in some legal format for them, being the Uber driver that took them to the abortion clinic. I need you guys to understand how stupid this is. How incredibly monstrous this is. Again, as numerous other commentators have said, cruelty is the point. As I've said before, my general belief is the reason why Republicans go after and are part pro-life is not for babies, not because babies are so cute, because they don't give a fuck once the kid's born. The issue is that they want, one, a population of people who can be defended but don't need anything, right? As long as the baby lives, they did their job. But on top of it, and this is just my own little conspiratorial thinking, as Ash said, and I've said this on stream before, this is a way to get bodies, ways to get more troops, ways to get more people who are working or low class. Think about it. If you're brought up by, say, a woman who gets pregnant at a young age, most likely you're not going to have a lot of resources. She's probably not going to be able to go to college, etc., etc., etc. The simple fact of the matter is that, what this does is create a very real poverty class, which then becomes working and low-class individuals. And, oh yeah, no, change of access will not happen for rich women in one bit. They'll just fucking slip them a fucking $100 bill. And it'll be written down as 6 weeks when it's like, 3 months. The simple fact of the matter is that what this is there for is to do harm. Because the other reason besides getting a workforce and soldiers, because again, remember, one of the things allegedly that the Army and the Marines and various other groups do is use incentive models to try to pull working class and low class people into the Army with the promise of college. This is a way to create bodies, nothing more. And it's a way for them to be able to stand on some moral high ground without actually doing anything after the fact. We like zygotes, but fuck babies, right? Babies don't matter once they're out. That's your own problem. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. And the baby's bootstraps too. So, Mallory Quigley, I don't care if I pronounce that right, fuck her, the vice president of the communications of the Susan B. Anthony List, a group opposed to abortion, hailed it for what she called a pioneer legislation. Again, there's nothing pioneering about this. This does not increase freedom. This does not increase liberty. This does not make a lot of people's lives better. This is going to disproportionately affect queer and POC communities. This is going to continue using them as a essentially one step up from a fucking indentured servant class. This is horror. Plain and simple. Yeah, baby bootstraps are cute, but they shouldn't have to pull themselves up by them. You ever seen a baby pick up things? It's not easy. They're babies. Right? Come on now, guys. But Biden said the decision unleashed constitutional chaos and empowers self-anointed enforcers to have devastating impacts, and that the law will now significantly impair women's access to health care they need, particularly for communities of color and individuals. Biden is right. Not thing I like saying often, but Biden is absolutely right. Let's get into the rest of it, because this thing is horrifying.
This law is so extreme it does not even allow for exceptions in the case of rape or incest. And it not only empowers complete strangers to inject themselves into the most private of decisions made by a woman, it actually incentivizes them to do so with the prospect of $10,000 if they win their case, Biden's statement said. For the majority to do this without a hearing, without the benefit of an opinion from a court below, and without due consideration of the issues, insults the rule of law and the rights of all Americans to seek redress from our courts.
So if I'm understanding this correctly, this essentially turns every Texan into a bounty hunter, that if they find someone who's trying to get an abortion, and they're trying to get someone, or if there's someone helping someone get an abortion, you get $10,000 as a magic prize. Go, Zena.
No, isn't that just absolutely fucked? Hey, wait a minute. This thing that's like completely outside of me, not even part of my situation.
Sorry?
Like, I can now just make money off of accusing people, and as long as one of them's good, I win my case. Again, winning my case, like, it's not your case. You're completely outside of this, you know, person dealing with a potential pregnancy. Like, not your case. What is this framing even? It completely removes control from the person who's actually got the uterus, you know, in their body. Like, what?
Yeah.
This
Niana,
is just bonkers.
Yeah, absolutely, Zena. Niana says this is literally Nazi 1984 shit. Families selling out families, literally true.
No, that's exactly it. God damn.
Marionette, it literally gamifies fascism. It's holy shit. We finally figured it out. Gamifying fascism. Right? So, like, again, like, man, here's your $10,000 prize for basically sending a girl to jail. Holy fuck.
And that's no small amounts of money. When you're like, hey, this law is also going to, you know, disproportionately affect poor people. Like, no, somebody else getting $10,000? Like, this is just fucked.
And again, notice that there's this very clear thing here. It does not even have exceptions in case of rape or incest. This incentivizes, again, rape culture, because now women in the state of Texas, if they're not aware they're pregnant, or they're so shocked from their assault that they have to, in some way, shape, or form, like, come to the realization that something's wrong, they have a month and a half. You don't even start showing any kind of, like, actual symptoms of pregnancy until, like, what, 3 weeks, maybe? Like, an incest, holy shit. Do you think a sexually abusing relative is going to rush a kid 6 weeks in? I mean, that's just self-reporting. I'm sorry. What it's going to do is it's going to basically force young kids to fucking have their abuser's child. This is disturbing. Like, I need everyone to understand this. This is what Harris had to say.
This decision is not the last word on Roe v. Wade, and we will not stand by and allow our nation to go back to the days of back alley abortions, Harris said in a statement. We will not abide by cash incentives for virtual vigilantes and intimidation for patients. We will use every lever of our administration to defend the right to safe and legal abortion and to strengthen that right.
Okay, so there's pushes. They want to do some shit. Echoing the White House, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, who at the press conference in Austin said she expects to see copycat legislation in other states. I mean, she's not wrong. Much as I hate that woman, Jesus Christ. The Supreme Court's cowardly and dark of night decision to uphold flagrantly unconstitutional assaults on women's rights and health is staggering. Yeah, I mean, let's be very clear. The filibuster needs to go. We need more judges in the courts. This is insane. So, there needs to be real pushes. There needs to be real changes for this. This is absolutely insane. So, besides all of this happening, and it being a huge attack on constitutional rights for women and other people who have children, including NBs and trans men, trans-masc people, the simple fact of the matter is we have the very thing Republicans constantly say they're afraid of: activist judges. Now, I'm going to be really clear here that some of my arguments here might echo some of the things Vosh recently said on his video that came out. Tough. Some of them are real good arguments, so I might echo a few of them in my own words. Plus, I'm cuter. Here's the thing. This is just a continuation of conservatives' attack on anyone that is not a cis white male, cishet white male. The simple fact of the matter is this. Women, if you are a cis woman, we need to stand with you. Let me be very clear on this. If you are a trans woman or a trans man or a non-binary person, whether you are a person who can give birth or not, we need to stand with women. Full stop. Marionette, I have something to say on that in just a moment, but let's finish this thought. So, the problem is that in a lot of ways, this is just as dark and sinister and awful as the trans bills that came out a few months ago. Conservatives hate life. They just do. Especially if you're a brown person or a person who is queer, they just don't give a fuck unless they need you for wars. Now, coming to the part that Marionette mentioned, I disagree firmly. At least half. Yes, Trump was a symptom of a larger white nationalist and utterly incoherent aspect of the GOP. That I agree with. But he is also a disease in and of himself, because there is a very real through line between the Tea Party and Ted Cruz and the continued further solidification of the Republicans as being against any laws and any type of progress, to the point where you get Trump, who he didn't so much drain the swamp as in drink it all up and sort of diarrhea-y shoot it everywhere to create almost an omni-swamp, if you will. The simple fact of the matter is Trump is a disease in and of himself that has infected the Republican Party, and he himself is a symptom of a greater disease of fascism. And here's what I'm going to say. Fuck Kyle Kalinske. Fuck Brianna Joy Gray. Fuck Socialist MMA. Fuck Jimmy Dore. And fuck any other fake, simpering leftist who whined about Hillary. I also want to take a moment, just a moment. I want to thank one of my dear friends, Hanging Wednesday. Back in 2016, I was almost a Bernie or Buster. I had taken head trauma. I apologize. I'm working on it. The simple fact of the matter is this. After a lot of arguments with Wednesday about how upset I was about Bernie not getting the nomination, I went to the polling booth, I held my fucking nose, and I voted for Hillary Clinton. Do I like Hillary Clinton? No. She's a war hawk and a monster, and her husband is on Epstein's party list. Also, her husband groomed a girl in her early 20s who became the joke of the nation and now is an anti-bullying advocate. The fact that, like, Monica Lewinsky is still alive, considering the daggers Hillary Clinton sent towards this woman socially, or the way that every comedian got their fucking pushes, is... I don't know that kind of strength. Can we bottle it? Because that would be neat. But coming back to the condemnations, if you are one of these fools, these whining idiots whose entire identity as a so-called leftist is that you are not a liberal. Oh no, liberals. Who the fuck do you think we recruit from, you dumb motherfuckers? Yeah, fuck Peter Coffin too, and Angie Speaks just on principle. I haven't seen her shit. I just know that her and Peter have similar content. And Kayla Maupin, who, by the way, blocked TGT on Twitter. I consider that a fucking victory right up there with the Sasha Yad block. Transphobic fucking monsters can just keep blocking that account. It's funny to me. Let me be clear here. I don't normally say things like this, and it's usually because I don't ever want to be so much your mom that I tell you, and I know Zena feels similarly, tells you what content creators you should watch. I am very open with the people I enjoy. I enjoy Demon Mama. I enjoy Vosh. I enjoy Dylan Burns. I enjoy lots of things on YouTube. Sometimes not even political content, as you well know. Yeah, you know you're a leftist when you're blocked by Caleb Maupin. Fucking true. So here's the problem. On one level, I want to say you are allowed to like whoever you want. On another level, I think it is fundamentally impossible to be a fan of the people that I've mentioned and anyone like them and not admit there is some cognitive dissonance with your values. Because even if their rhetoric sounds fun, it sounds good, it sounds right, they make no actual policy prescriptions. They make actually no goals, and they attack the most progressive members of actual politics. Because they don't want to do anything, they want to be snide and simply judge. This is why they all lost their shit when Contra put out Envy. Because she fucking called them all out. She showed in the most magnificent way what these idiots are doing. These people, by their nature, are so interested in differentiating themselves from the libs, showing just how leftist they are, how leftist than thou they are. These are no different than woke scolds. I know that term's not liked by a lot of people, but I'm going to use it today. Lefty Puritanism is toxin. It is absolutely toxic. It is venomous. It leads to envy and contempt. It leads to lack of action. Yeah, Kyle's been disappointing as shit. By the way, all the Assad shit seems to be true, and that happened, and the fact that a bunch of leftists were like, no, Assad seems based. Fuck off. Quit fucking backing dictators that do war crimes. These people are no better than tankies, just spreading fucking misinformation about history or about events. How many of these motherfuckers still think Russiagate was fake when we have fucking papers on it? We have investigations on this. Fucking true, Marionette. Lovely, lovely fucking, lovely quote from Contra. I don't talk about these people enough to quote the Dark Mother. Yes, all hail the Dark Mother. The simple fact of the matter is that this channel is built, and this is what is in the core of the hearts for me and Zena, is the notion of having nuance by using data and having policy prescriptions. We are clear about our politics. We are against war. We are generally in favor of leaving Afghanistan, but not in the way this was done. I am not as black-pilled as Vosh is on this, and I think the way we've handled this is a human rights issue. I'm very clear that I want at least a SOCDEM, if not better, state that takes care of its people, and I want anything that is required for human life to be decommodified. To me, all the people I mentioned are no better than Shoe on Head. Has anyone seen that Vosh video, by the way? The hour-long deconstruction of Shoe on Head's views? I have never heard a synopsis so clearly outlining not only Shoe's problems and why I really struggle with following her sometimes, but also a similar tendency in other people. If your mental deficiency starts with the notion of, but what the lib says is bad, you will never take an empirical stance on any issue. Because you are more interested in propping up your personality and your identity than actual real policy. So again, and I can never make this list exhaustive enough, Kyle Kalinske, Socialist MMA, Brianna Joy Gray, who deleted a fucking tweet because she got nailed from her 2017 take because she said, oh no, you're all just being alarmist. There's no way that Trump's gonna stack the court. Go fuck yourself, Brianna. I watched your little fucking interview with Noam Chomsky where you, like, basically tried to wall him off into a corner with the same fucking nonsense, and he wouldn't accept it because Trump was a genuine fascist threat. The patron saint of fucking, like, real based leftist content. I'm gonna need a minute. Zena, what do you got?
No, we should probably get back to our article and wrap it up.
Well, the article's basically done.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So, 11 states could end up using similar enforcement strategies. Of course they could. Guys, please pick the content creators you like. If we don't come up to your standards, if we don't do well enough, I am totally okay with that. I don't want you to be here unless you really enjoy our content. If you really enjoy me and Zena's takes, I don't want people here because they feel like they have to be, and I don't want people here if they don't enjoy this content. I want to put out work that makes the world better. And I know Zena feels the same.
Mm-hmm.
But you guys really have to be picky about this because these people are fucking awful. This is no longer something that can be tolerated because this is what their actions have led to. Hillary was an awful choice, but clearly Trump is by definition the worst one, as it was in 2016, and clearly Biden has been the better choice in 2020. Biden's not perfect. Afghanistan's been handled like a goddamn train wreck. The trans rights promises have not been fulfilled. But you know what? A lot of our rights came back. I can't say for the record that I'm super happy with Biden, especially over Afghanistan. But you know what? Anyone that says that he's not doing a better job than Trump isn't considered an adult to me. Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. You can also ring the bell if you want to be notified of our videos. If you want to help the channel, you can donate at streamlabs.com/transgirltherapist/tip. You also can become a patron at patreon.com/transgirltherapist. As low as $3, you can support our channel. Thanks for watching.